How do you feel we've improved from our preliminary task to our final filmmaking?
Well, when we filmed our preliminary task at the very start, we had no experience in how to film. We didn't really have a great understanding of how to use continuity editing and things like that. So we had a really rough idea of how we wanted to structure our narrative and things like that. And I think the way we used the dialogue and like the angles of shots, we didn't really know how to match it up to make it look like it was continuity edited. However, I thought we learned a lot from our preliminary task, as we did a mirror shot in the bathroom, which we actually wanted to use in our final product, which we thought was really effective. However, you can see the clear improvements from the original to our final product. One of the main problems we found with our preliminary task was matching shots from moving to standing still. We didn't really, because when we were filming them, we didn't really have an idea of how to edit, because it was the first experience we've ever had of making a short film. We often found that a shot from standing still was leading to a shot of movement, and it didn't really flow that well. So the examiner would have marked us down for not having very good continuity editing. However, when we did our actual our final product, from learning through these experiences and these faults in our preliminary task, I found it gave us the experience of being able to have moving shots into moving shots, so that it looked like it was a continuous line of action, which is crucial when you want to do continuity editing. And also in the preliminary task, we learned the basic rule of the 180-degree angle. So it looked as though it was all in sequence when we actually filmed it, although as filmmakers know, when you do continuity editing, it's not always filmed in a perfect sequence. Also in the preliminary task, we decided to use the title Hands of Stone, which eventually did get changed to Golden Boy, but through Hands of Stone we kind of came to the conclusion that because it's a boxing film, we didn't want to use really elaborative fonts, or we wanted to keep the name quite basic, so we had it only in the opening scene in just red, bold writing. And kind of we used the red as a powerful colour, and can often be associated with violence. Although violence isn't, in my opinion, boxing was also a beautiful sport. However, we changed it to the Golden Boy, so we learned from that experience, because we didn't really feel as though we wanted to use it. We wanted to show the more elegant, beautiful side of boxing. So we decided to go for the Edwardian script font, which is a lot more elegant, and used obviously the gold instead of the red, which went with our Golden Boy. Also during the preliminary task, we used quite dramatic music as walking off. It was trying to show the boxer and the trainer walking off into the fight into distance, a still shot which showed them walking off. So with the music, we feel that it really added like quite a dramatic effect to it, and we were quite pleased with the music. However, when it came to our final product, after watching or researching films such as Raging Bull, we decided to go for a more classical music we felt would help our narrative flow a lot easier, because there's no actual fight walking off into the fight scene. It goes blank when he goes through, and then it cuts straight into the fight scene, and then we could use the silence and the heartbeat to create tension. However, we felt that the dramatic music in our personal sequence was too much and kind of overshadowed the voiceover and the actual boxing. It just took everything away from the actual visual idea of the film, and just everyone was concentrating on the sound. One of the other things we found in our preliminary task is obviously because we were in school, we had limited use of resources, i.e. props, clothing, costume, things like that. However, one of the things we did use during our preliminary task was the hooded figure, and this is one of our original ideas that we tried to keep present throughout the whole of our filmmaking. It's one of the things that we felt could really make our film unique, because we wanted to hide the characters' feelings and emotions during the film. So by using the hooded figure, we could get a rough idea of what our original product would finally look like, and I feel that gave us quite a good idea of what it was going to be like. And also we had the trainer and boxer's relationship also in the preliminary task. It was very basic, but you can still see how a trainer can improve a boxer by talking to him and giving him criticism and encouraging him before a fight to get him worked out before he goes into the ring. In the evaluation of our final product, I felt that the preliminary task was very useful, as it allowed us to gain like a basic picture of what our final product would look like, especially when it came to costume. And I thought that we were very successful in hiding the boxer's personality and traits. However, during the funeral scene, we allowed the audience to build a bit of a relationship with the character, as in learnt about his softer side. However, when he was in the ring and in the gym, he was down to business and he didn't really want anything to get into his head, and he was very straightforward in what he wanted to do, kind of sticking to the normal conventions of a sport and a very masculine, hard man. That was one of the strengths I felt in our work. Also, I thought we used quite a few unusual angles and shots on our thing, especially with the POV in the ring, which took a lot of skill from James to film, and I thought that was a really effective shot. The way the camera moved and everything, like from our audience research, that was one of the best shots. And also the POV of the speedball we thought was really good. We got that idea from numerous boxing films such as $1 Million Baby and the film Ali. So that's where we got the inspiration for that shot. And one of the other really strengths that we got from doing our audience research was the voiceover.
At its essence, boxing is a simple sport. Its routines and rhythms steadfast and universal. Train alongside those who know you best. Learn from those who you trust most.
We spoke to quite a lot of people who watched the voiceover, and we said, do you understand everything in the voiceover? And they said yes, and we felt that through the voiceover we could explain the narrative and what was happening, and allowed the audience to like gain an understanding of the boxer's personality and what he'd been through in his life. So it kind of gave like a background information and allowed it to flow. We also wanted to have like a slight Cockney accent on it without overdoing it, so it kind of portrayed a working class environment that the Golden Boy was actually brought up in. And through the voiceover we felt it really added a really good effect, because we felt as though delivering dialogue on camera is a lot harder than we actually thought. However, with the voiceover, people can listen to the voiceover and it explains a lot of what's going on in the sequence. And if I was to outline the weaknesses in our work, I'd say one of the weaknesses was maybe we could have included more titles in our work, because only me and James filmed it. He filmed it, I acted it. We only felt that we had to include our two names, so people could argue that we didn't include enough titles because there's only two of them. One other constructive criticism that we gained was some people maybe felt that the cutting rate should have been slightly faster, so that if we were going to film like more of the opening, which we would love to do, we really enjoyed doing the work, maybe we should increase the cutting rate to maybe keep the audience involved and have a more fast pace of action. And one other thing, if I was to have to be really picky about another weakness in our work, it would be the fading out of the heartbeat to the music. We found it quite difficult to get from going to classical music to a heartbeat, rhythmic heartbeat, and then back to classical music without being there some sort of slight jumpy cut between the music. We found it quite difficult to fade it in and out, as it didn't really flow perfectly, exactly how we wanted it to. But we did eventually use the fade in and out tool on Premiere, which helped us to make it a smoother flow through the film opening. But if that was one weakness, I'd say that was one of the weaknesses as well.